Hello everyone, and welcome back to the English Talk channel. We're really happy to have you here with us today. Whether you're listening at home, on a walk, or maybe even while using public transit right now, we hope you're feeling comfortable and ready to practice your English with us.
Hi everyone, and thanks for joining us once again. My name is Leo, and as always, it's great to spend this time with you. Today's conversation is especially useful because it's something many people experience almost every day, no matter where they live.
That's right. Before we begin, we'd like to remind you to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications if you enjoy learning English through real-life conversations like this one. Your support helps us continue creating free content for English learners around the world.
And don't forget to share this video with a friend or classmate who's also learning English. Practicing together can really make a difference.
All right, Leo, let's get started. Today's topic is taking public transport, and this is something that can feel confusing or stressful when you're in a new city or a new country.
Absolutely. Many learners tell us that they feel nervous when they have to take a bus, subway, or train in English-speaking countries. They worry about understanding announcements, asking questions, or buying tickets.
That's very common, so today we'll walk through a natural conversation that shows how people talk about public transport in everyday life, using clear and simple English.
Exactly. We won't rush anything, and we'll use long, natural phrases, just like fluent speakers do in real life.
So, Leo, let me ask you something. How do you usually get around your city? Do you use public transport often?
To be honest, I use it almost every day. I live in a big city, and driving can be stressful because of traffic, parking problems, and long travel times. Taking the bus or the subway is usually easier for me.
That makes a lot of sense. I also live in a busy area, and I find that public transport helps me save time and energy, especially during rush hour, when the streets are full of cars.
Exactly. Plus, it's often more affordable than owning a car, especially when you think about gas, insurance, and repairs.
That's true. When I first moved to this city, learning how to use public transport was one of the first challenges I faced. At the beginning, I felt a little lost.
I can relate to that. I remember standing at a bus stop, looking at the map, and wondering if I was even in the right place. Everything looked confusing at first.
Yes, especially when the signs and announcements are in another language. It can feel overwhelming.
Exactly. By the way, Anna, when we say overwhelming, we mean something that feels like too much at one time, making you feel stressed or confused.
That's a great word to know. If you're watching and that word is new to you, try to repeat it out loud. Overwhelming.
So, Anna, what kind of public transport do you use most often?
I mostly use the subway because it's fast and reliable. Even though it can get crowded, I know it will usually arrive on time, which helps me plan my day better.
That's interesting. I use the bus more often, mainly because there's a bus stop right near my apartment. It may take a little longer, but it's very convenient.
Convenient is a great word here, and just to explain briefly, convenient means something is easy to use and works well for your situation.
Exactly. If that word is new for you, feel free to pause the video and say it again slowly.
Let's imagine a real situation now. You're new in a city and you need to take public transport to get to work. What's the first thing you usually think about?
The first thing I think about is the route. I want to know which bus or train I need to take and where I should get on and off.
Same here. I usually check a map or use an app on my phone to see the best way to get there.
Those apps can be very helpful, especially when they show delays or changes in the schedule.
Yes, although sometimes I still like to ask someone in person just to be sure.
That's a good idea. Asking for help can make you feel more confident. For example, you might say, "Excuse me, does this bus go to downtown?"
Or you could ask, "Is this the right train for Central Station?" Simple questions like that are very common.
And people are usually happy to help, especially if you ask politely.
I agree. Even if your English isn't perfect, most people will understand what you mean and try to guide you.
Now, let's talk about buying tickets, because this is another situation that makes learners feel nervous.
Yes, especially when there are different types of tickets like single rides, day passes, or weekly passes.
Exactly. The first time I used the subway here, I wasn't sure which ticket to buy, so I took my time reading the options.
I've been there too. Sometimes the machines can be confusing, especially if there are many buttons and instructions.
In that case, you can always ask someone nearby or go to the ticket counter and say, "I'd like a ticket, please. I'm going to the city center."
That's a very natural sentence. You don't need to explain everything, just your destination.
And if you're not sure what the person says, it's perfectly okay to ask them to repeat. You can say, "Sorry, could you say that again more slowly?"
That's a very important phrase for English learners. There's no need to feel embarrassed.
Let's talk about what it feels like to actually be on public transport. How do you usually feel when you're riding the bus or subway?
Most of the time, I feel relaxed. I like listening to music or looking out the window and watching the city go by.
I feel the same way. Sometimes I even use that time to review vocabulary or listen to English podcasts.
That's a great habit, especially for learners. Public transport can become study time.
Exactly. Although during busy hours, it can feel crowded and noisy.
Yes, when everyone is going to work or coming home, the buses and trains can be very full.
In those moments, patience is important. I remind myself that everyone is just trying to get where they need to go.
Have you ever missed your stop on public transport?
Oh yes, more than once. Sometimes I get distracted or I'm too focused on my phone and suddenly I realize I went too far.
That happens to me too. When that happens, I usually just get off at the next stop and go back.
Exactly. It's not the end of the world, even though it can be a little annoying.
It's all part of the experience, especially when you're learning how a new system works.
Another thing learners often ask about is making small talk on public transport. Do you think people talk to strangers often?
It depends on the city and the culture. In some places, people prefer to keep to themselves, while in others, short conversations are more common.
That's true. Sometimes a simple comment like, "It's really crowded today," can start a short, friendly exchange.
Or, "This bus is always late in the morning," which many people can relate to.
Those small comments can help you practice English in a natural way without pressure.
Now, let's imagine you're explaining your daily routine to someone. You might say, "I usually take the bus to work and it takes about 30 minutes."
Or, "I take the subway every morning because it's faster than driving."
These sentences are simple, but they sound very natural and fluent. Leo, if you had to give one piece of advice to English learners about using public transport, what would it be?
I would say, don't be afraid to ask questions. Even native speakers ask for directions or help sometimes.
That's great advice. I would add that it's okay to make mistakes. Every mistake helps you learn and improve.
Exactly. Confidence grows with practice, not with perfection.
Now, it's your turn to practice. Think about how you use public transport in your daily life.
You can practice saying one or two sentences, like, "I take the bus to school," or "I usually use the subway on weekends."
If you'd like, write your sentence in the comments below. We love reading your answers. Thank you so much for spending this time with us today.
We hope this conversation helps you feel more confident when talking about public transport in English.
See you next time, and happy learning.
Goodbye, everyone.